What's up, y'all? Welcome to another Lala Divine video. Let's get into this message. It is some very intense energy, and we finna talk about it. I just want to warn you guys ahead of time that my son is sleeping right next to me, so you might hear a little bit of snoring. Don't worry about that. Stay focused. Pay attention to the message. First and foremost, I want to thank those who support me, those who follow, share, comment, like all the above. I really appreciate y'all. Like, y'all is the reason why I keep going. For my new subscribers, welcome. Sit down, kick your feet up. It's finna get real heavy up in here. So, let's talk. I have realized over the years that I have been a very naive individual. I was always taught by my mom that I needed to see people for who they were and stop trying to make people out to be good, even when they continue to show you that they're not. Being naive has cost me my peace, my abundance in life, relationships, friendships, so much. And I can finally say at this point in my life, I'm done. When people show you who they are, didn't Maya Angelou say that? When people show you who they are, believe them. Like, that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Because, like, you give people so much energy, so much time, so much hope, praying and hoping that they will change and they will see the light. You're willing to overextend yourself. For what? It doesn't get you nowhere. You end up depleted, wasting your time, which in all actuality, you can't really say you wasted your time because these people really don't get to experience genuine people. So when you come in their life, you're kind of like the catalyst to show them, hey, maybe I was being a piece of shit. Maybe I was being horrible to that person. That person really wasn't horrible to me. I mean, that's if they're actually an empathetic person and they take the time to self-reflect. Now, you do have those who are ego-driven who will, ride to the day they die that, they are 100% correct and everybody around them is wrong. You do have those type of people, but there are those that you are a catalyst for their life. You are meant to come into their life to show them something other than what they've been taught. There are so many people walking around here with generational curses, generational trauma that has their thought process so fucked up that they have no idea of the greatness they could be living if they just understand the toxicity in their lives and change it and want to change it to do better, the people that they push away really genuinely be there to help them to become a better person. And when you become a better person, you get to experience a whole new life. But again, there are some who don't. So I say all that to say this is that people be knowing what they doing and some don't. But let's talk about the people who know what they're doing. Now, this could also be a generational curse. Energy don't lie. So if you were raised by a narcissistic parent, you've more than likely attracted narcissistic partners. It's like an ongoing cycle until you go within, take the time to heal, and take accountability for either acting out these behaviors or accepting the behaviors. Accountability is so important. When you can say, man, I messed up, I settled, I lowered my standards, I knew better, or I shouldn't have treated this person this way. They didn't deserve that. I allowed my childhood trauma to project onto a person that didn't even deserve it. But people literally be knowing what they doing. Like, it's sad because you have to know the difference. You have to distinguish the difference between people who don't know and people who do know. And what I've come to realize is that the people who are in survival mode, who you got to listen to the way people talk. If they always talking about money or always talking about they don't trust people and people are mean and people, deserve to be treated the way, those are the people that you really need to pay attention to how they move and assess if you want this person in your life. Because if a person is in survival mode, they're numb. They don't have an empath mentality. They don't believe in reciprocity, whatever. Y'all know the word I'm trying to say. And they just moving out here in selfish desire. So you can try, you can give, you can do all the things, and they still are not going to budge or change because they don't know how. There's people who are 50, 60, 40 years old that don't know how to love. And for a moment, you get a little bit of sadness in your heart because who don't want to experience love? That's what we're here for, is to experience love in all shapes and forms. That's why I don't get mad at the experiences that I went through in life, because it shaped me to be who I am today. I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. I'm actually grateful because of all of the traumatic experiences that I went through helped shape me to the woman I am today. And with me raising kids, I can pass those jewels and tools down to help them, to maybe make life a little bit easier for them. Now, they're still going to go through their situations, but at the end of the day, they have the blueprint. That's what I like to call myself, the blueprint. I know that might sound kind of self-absorbing, but again, I went through a lot of stuff, so I use that. That's why I'm a life coach, to help people go through their things. But I say all that to say this: you really got to take the time to get to know people. You really got to understand people know exactly what they're doing. You really got to understand that there is some genuine people out here and there's some horrible people out here. And you have to take the time to assess every relationship that you're in to figure out what place they play in your life. Because if you do not, you will wake up one morning 10, 15 years later and realize you wasted your whole life. You're depleted. You don't know who you are. Your life is totally wasted. And that's a horrible place to be, especially when you're 40, 50 years old and your life is just a vapor. So if you're wasting it and not taking the initiative to really assess and protect your energy, like you have to protect it like it's gold. At first, when I heard protect your energy, like I wasn't on that, like I didn't understand. But now I could be a millionaire. You hear me? A millionaire. But if I don't protect my energy, if I don't watch who I'm around, who's pouring into me, who I'm pouring into, that really don't matter how much money you make. Because you can have $1 million and be around a person who has piss poor energy and they zap it. They make you tired. They drain you. They deplete you. So all of this energy that you had to be this millionaire, to make all this income, to be the person that you're meant to be, someone can literally drain that from you just by being in your presence. That's too much of a sacrifice. That's too much of a consequence. I can't do it. So now I'm diligent in who I spend my time with, who my energy pours into. Family will be the ones that hurt you the most. And really, you can't be mad at them because that's what they do. So just because they family, they don't get a pass. They don't get a pass. You got to treat them like you treat somebody on the streets. And family, them be the ones that hurt you the most intentionally because they know you ain't going nowhere. Not me, baby. Family, friend, or foe. I got friends out here, no blood. They treat me way better than some of my family members. I still love my family members, but I keep everybody at a distance. It's called compartmentalize. Tyrese said it best. You show me who you are, and I compartmentalize to what you show. So don't get mad if you have little access, because that's what position that you played. So don't get mad. But I just say all that to say you got to pay attention to the energy. You cannot give people pass after pass after pass and expect them to change just because you give them money or you help them, you put a roof over their head, you speak life into them, whatever you do, you think that that is going to change people, and it doesn't. People are not going to change if they don't want to. We all have a choice. And in this season of your life, you're going to have to learn to sit back and observe versus being the one on the front line ready to put your life on the line for people who wouldn't do that for you. That was a hard lesson that I had to learn. You can't just invite everybody. Everybody's not meant to go on this path with you. And lo and behold, God will allow you to allow them to be in your life to show you, hey, have you noticed your life went to shit because you keep allowing this person to be in your life? People marry, have kids, bring people in their sacred space to stay with them, to help them, to turn around and get shitted on. And they don't give two about it, okay? So to save yourself the heartache, the pain, I'm telling you right now, assess, observe, pray before you allow anyone to get close to you, especially during this time. It says it in the Bible. Mother against daughters, sons against fathers. It's written in stone. So you got to know that everybody's not going to be who you expect them to be. And you got to be okay with that. Just treat them and put them where they need to be. And you won't have to deal with disappointment or rejection because you already know, you already set the line, set the tone for how this relationship, situationship, however you want to call it, how it goes. So you good. So protect yourself, observe, pay attention, and remove those people in your life that does not reciprocate the energy that you give them. It's not worth it. You have nothing to prove to them. If you've been good to people and they still treat you like what God say, dust your shoulders off and keep it pushing. Because what, he gonna give you a reward for sticking around? No, he's not. So each one to teach one. Share this message if it touched you, if it resonated, because it sure resonated for me. This was a long life lesson that I had to learn, and I'm so grateful I got it now because life's been a lot more peaceful. And I know who to give my energy to, and I know who not to, because I'm observant and I protect my energy like it's gold. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. May you guys have the day that you deserve. Peace, love, and light.